let's start to do some introductions. I will invite Sherif to introduce himself, and then Michael. So please, and guys, you're looking good. I'm looking good also, but you also look good.
Thanks, Joao. Okay, so I'll jump in after your kind invitation. Hi everyone, it's a pleasure and honor to be with you all. My name is Sherif Ramzy. I am the Director of Financial Planning and Analysis and Finance Systems at HH Global. I have been with HH Global for just over 5 years now. Prior to that, I worked at many different companies, sectors and industries. Worked in Shell Petroleum for over 12.5 years. Then I joined Libara for a couple of years, telecoms, and then I moved on to 𝙨𝙤𝙡𝙪𝙩𝙨, which is the data analytics and customer science company owned by Tesco. And then I joined HH Global for the past 5 years, which has been an amazing journey, which we'll get into more details about when we speak with Joao and Michael. So I'll pass on to Michael.
Perfect, thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Egan. So I'm the head of Business One, Business by Design and S/4HANA Cloud for the UK and Ireland. What does that actually mean? It means I look after all of our current customer base and all new customers to SAP. Everything from pre-revenue customers all the way up to large multinationals. I've been at SAP just over 5 years. Prior to coming to my current role, I was an account executive working with mid-sized customers. So everything from pre-revenue all the way up to 1 billion in turnover, specializing in the professional services and telecoms industries. So predominantly working with ERP, HR, and commerce transformations. But essentially work with new customers day in, day out. And my current role is working with new customers and working with our current customer base and helping expand our channel network, as well as doing calls like this and getting to meet fantastic customers such as HH Global.
Okay, thank you guys. I will just do some quick introduction also on myself. My name is João Rodrigues. I'm the country manager for the UK for B1 Solutions, and been working in the industry since 2001, so many years ago. Again, I want to thank you and to welcome you to this webinar. Again, this webinar doesn't have agenda or straight agendas on that PowerPoint. It will be just the three of us discussing a little bit how we survive in this industry, in this world, and how we work as a team. I think that is very relevant for this business to have everyone on the same side of the table, working as a team. There's no suppliers, no customers, a team that is working side by side and being there for each other. So I would like to give some context to this meeting. I would like to ask Sherif to tell us a little bit about the journey, the story of HH Global and B1 Solutions and B1 since he arrived at HH Global. So when he landed, what did he found, and give us some context, and we will take it from there.
Thanks, Joao. So yeah, for those who do not know HH Global is striving to be the #1 choice for any kind of printed marketing activities and customer analytics for our global customers. We offer them a wide range of services ranging from print to creative to data analytics to logistical services and so on. When I first joined HH 5 years ago, HH was almost a 300 million turnover business. At the time, the business had focused quite a lot on growing the customer base. It was only 25 years old at the time and growing rapidly over the past maybe 3 or so years before I joined. With the growth and focus on the customer front and growing relationships and top line and bottom line, of course, back office support and systems and processes was not at the heart and focus of the business that much. And when I joined, it was, quite a scattered and fragmented architecture landscape. From a finance systems perspective, we had a lot of different accounting systems. We had a couple of failed implementations with SAP B1. And the reason why I use the word failed is because it was not implemented properly at the time, no full understanding of functionality, and not understanding how to integrate with other systems that were available that we were using in-house. So it was generating a lot of failed documents as a result of the poor implementation or integration with Hub, which is our order management system. So that's why we're not using any accounting system or any finance systems as a full ERP. We're just using them just for the financial ledger and for accounting purposes. And we manage all of our sales and order processes through Hub, which is our order management platform. The integration between them was not developed properly, and there was close to 1,000 failed documents a day. And 4 of the 6 people I inherited were doing nothing but reposting them manually every day, which is like a life killer. With that, I had a number of other accounting systems, DF32, Access, MyBee, KingBee. I can just go on through the list. Almost every small country had its own accounting system. Or there was a third-party accounting. All of that, they tried to do consolidation through a consolidation database, but of course the data was all in different structures from the different systems, so the data was coming completely unstructured into that SQL consolidation database. And there was a couple of systems built in-house around reporting, and we used Microsoft Access, and that was coming to the end of its lifetime. And we used SSRS, which is an in-house built version of reporting. And no surprise, no 2 reports with the same filters will generate the same numbers. So single source of truth was an absolute nightmare. I don't want to go into planning, and because the planning was done on Google Sheets, which is a very painful version of Excel. I hope Google is not listening to me now, but it was very very challenging. 427 Google Sheets, 15 tabs each. It literally took over a day to refresh numbers, and budgeting was done once. So that's basically what I inherited at the beginning. We started the journey by looking at what do we need to do. The first thing that I needed to do was I needed a team, a proper team where I can actually start building the vision and they buy into, or they start working on delivering the roadmap. Of course, the roadmap and the vision that I had set was discussed with exec. Trying to convince exec to invest in back office support was quite a challenge for anyone. But the winning card that I had was you're not able to get any single source of truth. So how do you know how you're driving? Where are you going? You have a lot of people doing repetitive manual work, which we can eliminate and start to add more value add work. We can automate a lot of the processes. And we started going down that journey. I started building the team. And we started looking at which financial system we will use for our long term. SAP Business One is great. It does everything that we need from our requirements. And because we're not using it as a full ERP, it is very much adaptable to our needs. But the key point was fixing the integration between Hub, our order management tool, and SAP. And this is where we went around the houses, and I found out that we're not able to move forward because the business wants a lot of flexibility in Hub. So they can create POs, amend POs, create SOs, amend them multiple times, cancel them, reopen new ones, and so on. So they want full flexibility on the order and sales process. But with the accounting side of things, it's quite black and white. So it does not give them that much flexibility. We started looking around, and B1 Solutions, which we had heard of before, we started engaging with the team, and we had a 3-day working session just around how the integration would work. And B1 Solutions were great in proposing the architecture design of how that should work. It took us it took us a little bit of time to convince the business, but once we were over that, it took us almost a year to complete the development or redevelop the whole integration between Hub and SAP Business One. And the results were amazing. We had 0 failed documents, nothing. Because the design was, you don't need all of the financial documents to exist in SAP, except upon invoice stage, when the order has actually been delivered. We do not need to keep on updating SAP with all of the documents as they are in flux and being changed, which was delivering all of the failed documents. And that was the design. And that design then helped us to re-implement the UK and the US, which is our 2 biggest markets, which were on SAP B1. We moved them from 9.1 to 9.3. And then we started, while we were developing the integration, we started taking the same topology, developing it through like a semi-automated DTW, and we implemented a number of entities on SAP B1, and we started rolling out the implementation. I will, in the interest of time and not to bore you, I will fast forward to end of 2020, and we had actually implemented SAP in every single entity of our 76 entities globally, either SAP B1 9.3 or 9.2. So all other systems were decommissioned. Integration, a lot of the entities were transactional, so they were integrated with Hub. Others were TB uploads because they're not using Hub in real time, and hence we just do third-party accounting and a TB upload into a SAP database. And all of that data flows from the SAP databases into a financial data warehouse, which we built from scratch. And we implemented Board, which is our reporting and planning platform, and integrated Board to the data warehouse. So through Board now, which is like a BI reporting tool, we have all of the reports, and we rebuilt our management suite of reports, which is around 60 reports, and they are fully functional, and the data is always consistent. And through what this allowed us to do is actually allowed us to expand more on what other integrations and what other systems do we want to go through. And we started then upgrading our expense system to implementing iDocs, and that's working perfectly fine. We also implemented our e-invoicing platform with Tungsten, which we were not able to do at all, although there was a contract sitting there for a couple of years, but we were not able to activate it before my time. But once we got the new design and we started rolling out SAP, we were able to implement an e-invoicing platform, we were able to implement an automated payment solution, and we were able to implement a tax engine to calculate all the taxes for us. So the automated vision that I had sold to the exec was full flexibility in our order management process in Hub. At delivery, PO, GRPO, SO, and delivery notes come into SAP. The PO and the GRPO move on to the invoicing platform. The supplier gets notified by email. They come into the invoicing platform, flip that to the PO into an AP invoice, which comes back into SAP. We do a three-way match, and after that is successful, the automated payment solution picks that up with the payment terms of the suppliers, generates a payment file that goes through HSBC-Net, and the payment happens. That is the automated process. All the data then is in real time in the data warehouse, and we're talking about refreshes, which is under 3 minutes. So the data is almost in real time every time there is a transaction, and the reports are updated accordingly. That's the summary. We could have never reached that without the support that we got from B1 Solutions in the redevelopment of the integration between Hub and SAP, and also in all of the rollouts, because all of the rollouts were on all of the different markets. There's a lot of localizations, a lot of challenges. I do not have a team of 100 people. My team at that time was around 25 people supporting at the regional level, but B1 helped us in each of and every single market through the local implementations and localizations, and looking at all of the very specific processes for these markets to be implemented. So that's
thank you, Sherif. And I would like to add that on top of that, because it's relevant. You summarize in less than 10 minutes, almost 2 years of continuous work that we are doing, changing things, supporting global operation 24/7, almost with close to zero integration errors, and something that I believe that indeed, and you said that, let me say this in a different way, you are not using SAP as a full ERP in a manner that you are using Hub as your order management system, but as HH Global is growing and HH Global is acquiring and is expanding into new acquisitions, also the SAP usage is growing, not only on the localizations, and I believe that this is one of the pieces that we indeed acted as something that was adding skills to your team, not only local resources. And I remember the project that we did in Brazil that was a challenge, not only by the nature of the local requirements, but also the language and the time zone that was challenging for you. And we did on that year, like what, 20 rollouts, maybe.
Yeah.
We did 20 rollouts, and this one was big, was challenging, and this flexibility of adding, I would like to just, because this is a conversation, sometimes it's easy to keep a flow on the speech, but the planning that we did, the replanning that we keep adding also brought challenges, but being in contact, working together, knowing what was going to happen next, help us planning. And you know that I keep telling you this, and I keep telling this to our customers, we need to be really close and knowing where you are going, where you are expanding, so that we also have the readiness to support you on the markets, on the regions that you want to expand. And I believe that this is the biggest thing that we added to you, more than the technical skills, more than the knowledge on the localizations, was thinking together and finding the right solutions, compromising when needed, and being there being there. This is everyone says, this is a people's business, and indeed it is. Everyone knows SAP. Everyone knows there's a lot of partners knowing SAP. A lot of partners doing program managing is a different business. Is something that requires not only the expertise but also the level of relationship that we have with you. And now we are discussing things that are an extension to the financial system, like warehousing management, WMS with handheld devices, procurement enhancements, on the more recent acquisitions. And this is what SAP and B1 solutions can add. And I believe this is where SAP strategy and roadmap, all the new features that SAP is bringing to the table, the innovations can really continue to support you. And this is what I think that Michael can bring something to the table and give us a little more insights on how SAP has supported the businesses and will continue for the future. Michael, how do you see SAP supporting HH Global and similar businesses, global businesses like HH Global that are expanding, that are growing, that needs automation? The drill. How is SAP supporting businesses nowadays? What is your message? What do you want to add? And let's try to sell something to Sherif, by the way.
Thanks, Joe. Just a couple of things. So just to take a step back. So just a couple of myths I want to quickly get rid of. So we have a big myth at SAP that SAP is only for big companies, like large multinationals, Shell, BP, BT, huge large enterprises. That's just not the case. 80% of SAP's customer base are actually small and medium-sized businesses. That's the first point I want to get across. We work everything from pre-revenue all the way up to the likes of your BP, BT, Shells. We help customers on that growth journey. We want you to work with you from day one as you're a small and medium-sized enterprise, and work with you as you grow, like exactly what we're doing with HH Global. I think, if I'm correct, Sherif, you put it in when you were roughly 400 million, and you're now north in the billions. So like, it shows the growth you've had with SAP and how SAP has helped scale with you on that journey. In terms of the helping growing companies, I think the first thing is to look at the requirements, Joao, because I think we need to look at the company's requirements first and foremost. For an oil and gas company, if you need like joint venture accounting, professional services company needs project accounting and project management, resource management. If we're looking at something like life sciences, we need track and trace. We need to first of all look at the industry and what are the industry's different requirements and what are we looking for. We can then propose the right solution for the right customer based on the specific requirements. I think SAP is just north of 3,000 products we can help you with. So we'll find something that meets your needs. In terms of specifically how we help growing companies and why companies like HH Global and other growing organizations are choosing SAP, it comes down to future-proofing your business. So with SAP, with the localizations we have, and I think Joao touched on it, SAP is deployed in over 100 countries. If you're looking to expand, if you're a growing customer today and you're UK headquartered, but you have future plans to expand into Australia, Japan, Brazil, India, US, China, whatever, SAP can help you do that. That's the beauty of getting a global solution.
We can help also.
Which actually ties into my second point, is around the partner network that SAP has. SAP has a mature partner network, and we want customers to not only choose the right vendor of choice, but also partnering with the right partner. So I think Sherif touched on the point of HH Global didn't have the best of experiences with Business One immediately from day one, but that was due to the partner they were working with at that time. Since partnering with Joao and B1 Solutions, they've now started to reap the benefits of Business One in its entirety. So I think there's two pieces to it. One is selecting the right solution of choice, which is SAP, as I'm sure you're not surprised to hear me say, but it's also about finding the right partner to work with. It's like finding your B1 Solutions and the likes of Joao. And it's not only just the fact that Joao and team have a wealth of experience in delivering global projects, there's also the personal element. I mean, even to be able to know people personally, especially during what we've gone through in the last couple of years, you need to have that personal touch in today's society. But to come back to the initial question, I suppose one of the biggest points I would hit home is mainly around it comes back to localizations and the future proofing of your business. So whilst admittedly HH Global are just using the solution for finance from today, I think we discussed as HH Global Group has expanded, you've also now started to see some more inventory requirements, but that's something that's out of the box in SAP. So it wasn't necessarily something which was evaluated when you first chose the solution. The beauty of picking something SAP is that it has a wealth of capabilities. We look after companies who are full-blown supply chain, full-blown manufacturing, people just using it for finance. That's the beauty of SAP. You can start somewhere and go anywhere. And as I said, the point around the global capabilities can't be underestimated enough. It's future-proofing your business if you have plans to grow internationally. We can do local tax, we can do local VAT, multi-currency, multi-language, intercompany. Like, it's the beauty of going for an SAP solution. You're future-proofing your business for when you want to grow like HH Global have, and like every other business has plans to grow.
Yes, and things like innovations like OCR and bots and automating today manual processes. Something that we have on the BTP platform that SAP is adding, something that we want to start working with HH Global and other customers based on the growth and not the disruption, because sometimes we talk about disruption, but we don't want to disrupt businesses. We want to transform and sometimes even reuse what is done on paper and with OCR and automation technology like bots or artificial intelligence, speed up a simple thing that is critical to Sherif, that is a reconciliation. Posting a document that we receive from customers or from vendors. So this kind of innovations that SAP is adding is again something that we and with the communication, the partnership that we maintain, at least keeps our customers, and in this particular case HH Global, aware on what how they can drive their transformation, and this is something that we see SAP adding continuously, and that give us the confidence to keep providing native SAP technology to our customers with all the things that today are out there, and I salute SAP on being on the edge of this constant innovations, which is a challenge. Technology is changing fast.
I think, Joao, even to bring that to life just a little bit, so we're working currently with an events management company, and it's about also what the value add you can bring. You mentioned the BTP platform and some of the innovations you can do as your next step on your SAP journey. So, like lanyards you wear around your neck at an event with your name and tags and who you are, basically. So mine would say Michael Egan, SAP on it, and my job title. So we worked with an events management company to work on the BT platform. So we were able to use the lanyards to track people's how they walked around an event. So we used to track where they spent most of their time. Like, was it towards the middle of the event, the back of the event? Where did they spend their time after lunch? And like, what's the value of all this data? The event company was actually able to charge premiums for where there was like hotspots, so where people spent most of their time as they walked around the event. This was something they had never considered because they never had any idea to be able to figure out how we would track where people would spend all their time. This is a very specific use case. It won't be necessarily relevant for everyone on the call, but it's to give you an idea of the type of innovations SAP can help develop with you. If you give us a chance, we're happy to work with you around what innovations you like to do.
Sherif, let me taking this opportunity that I'm taking from Michael. How sustainable do you think this level, this flexibility, this approach of technology, the last years that we had and the challenges that we had? How do you think this impacted? I know impacted. But I want to hear from you from this last 2 years that we had, and the flexibility and the all the dynamics that we were having, and suddenly COVID, like Michael was saying, per human relationship gone, but the business was there. We were just completing a big acquisition. Remember me, my friend, those days, please, while I put myself in mute so that I don't scream. Thank you.
I'll definitely do that. So you said something very interesting, Joao, earlier, that this is a people business. Absolutely, it is. Like, as I said at the beginning, people, the right skill set is absolutely crucial. What helped us in the initial journey, which I took you through up until end of 2020, was the team that I put in place is a great team, and I still have a great team, and we're expanding, and I'm very proud of my team. But more importantly was how we got B1 not to operate with us as a partner, but to operate with us as a team. Okay, so we have the flexibility that you guys are offering us is just a phone call away. Joao, I have a problem. Let's jump on a call and let's see what we can do. Joao gets the right people, jumps on a call, or Bino, or I don't wanna keep on naming the great people that we work with, B1 Solutions, or else I'll miss someone and they'll be upset. But Felipe and so on, I'm still naming them. So we get on a call, and that's the flexibility, the agility of, okay, we're only going to charge you for whatever time that is being used and so on at the time that we request, and the quick turnaround of, we need to start tomorrow. Oh, sorry, we cannot start tomorrow because we have so and so, we're going to have to delay this by a week. That flexibility is amazing with growing businesses. So operating with my team and the B1 Solutions team as one big team was one of the key sources of success. The other key source is systems. So if we did not have the right system being implemented in place, then regardless of the team, we could do great things. But if the system is not giving us what we want, then we're at a disadvantage. So these are the two pillars upon which we based our transformation model. That's the background. Now, with those two systems working efficiently in a very cohesive manner, come the pandemic, we did not stop. There's a lot of businesses which were impacted during the pandemic. We had to stop. We could not do anything further. But we were operating and we were rolling out in 2020, 2021, non-stop. We were completing the transformation program with B1 Solutions on site, on ground, in the local markets, my team remotely working with them, making sure that the design and the integrations and all of our standard suite of implementations is being worked with the local teams. But we did not stop for a single day. On the contrary, actually, during the pandemic, we managed to implement a lot more entities.
Yes. Because
we had a lot less deviation to support other things. And the business actually in HH Global grew quite a bit over the pandemic period, because that's the nature of our business, printed marketing materials. So all of our retail and medical sectors were booming with print and signs and all these type of things that they wanted to put across. So this allowed us actually to continue growing. The system was helping us quite a lot, and the operational model that we had put together with B1 being on the ground, my team in HH Global cooperating and leading from a regional or a global perspective, making sure that we're addressing things with SAP headquarters as and when needed for complex implementations. You mentioned Brazil, we had also Mexico, we had other entities, or even the small localizations that are complicated, which nobody knows
Australia,
about.
New Zealand.
Australia, New Zealand was one of them. There's small things which you look at them and you say, we've never heard about this before. How do we do this? Links into government portals, which is becoming now actually something that's being, widely rolled out by a lot of local legislations and governments, and we have to comply with that. And how can we make sure that all of our transactions, all of our data is correct, goes through the government portal, all of our sales are being monitored and transactions are being monitored, and how do we make sure that everything is flowing in properly and we don't have issues with that? So that was how we moved through the pandemic. We did not stop, we were not impacted, we kept on rolling out, and by the end of 2020, we had completed the transformation that we had embarked on from the time of when I joined 2017, but the real journey started in 2018 when we started engaging with B1 around the re-implementation of the integration with Hub. And then that was, and then we actually changed our partnership to B1 Solutions, I think, Joao, in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
I was on vacations.
You were on vacation. Yeah, but I think early 2019, you became not only our implementation partner, but you also took over our implementation and support. So the whole relationship moved over to you in early or end of 2018, early 2019, and that has been a success story. Now, what we had done is, as the business was growing, by the end of 2020, we moved from 300 million turnover business to over 500 million turnover business, and we were set up for through our private equity minority shareholders to actually move into big acquisitions. And we went through a series of acquisitions. So in October 2020, during the pandemic, we were able to complete the acquisition of Inner Workings. In around April-May time of 2021, we acquired Adair International, and in September 2021, we acquired Noosh. And we have moved from over 500 million turnover business to over 2.5 billion turnover business at the moment. And that, of course, comes with another massive transformation, which I think I'll talk about later. But that's a continuous challenge that we're facing. And with all of these challenges, we are always leaning on our two pillars: people. And when I talk about people, I talk about the combined team of HH and B1 working together and making sure that we have a clear roadmap and delivery, and the systems with the support of SAP.
And we are very happy to support you and to be part of the team. Michael, do you want to add something on what Sherif said on how SAP has supported, besides helping to lower the TCO with the nice deals that we provided to this gentleman, which is also part of the business?
I suppose the biggest thing I would stress is, and I think I kind of touched on it earlier, it's the importance of getting the right partner in there, because you can choose the right product, but if it's not implemented correctly, and this goes for any solution on the market, you can choose the right product, but if it's not implemented correctly and you're not working with the right people, it's pointless. So I think, and Sherif, you touched on it in terms of when you unfortunately didn't have the right partner, you then approached B1 Solutions and Joao, and the fact that you're talking with everyone on the webinar, I'd like to hope that everything is fantastic and you speak very positively. But yeah, that comes back to my point around it's the importance of being able to identify the right partner, not just the right solution for you, because it's the right partner that will help bring your business forward. And I suppose to touch on my earlier point around the growing business and the changing, you mentioned a couple of acquisitions you've made, and the new markets they've expanded into. I think it comes back to my initial point of how the SAP solution has helped by just the sheer volume of localizations we have, the capabilities of a global business of SAP, with the expertise of the partners such as B1 Solutions, it's not one doesn't work without the other, and I think that's clear from the years that you were without B1 Solutions. You need both to have a working product, and more to the point, a solid foundation to grow your business on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of our key problems at the beginning. Was we did have a partner, but the partner was happy to support with, oh, you need SAP licenses, here you go. You need intercompany, here you go. But the partner was not proactive in saying, you have something wrong in how you're actually operating, or you have an issue with this integration, or we can help you in this area, or we can do this for you. So if I talk about, for example, Joao mentioned earlier that we're stepping into new territories with warehousing and inventory evaluation and inventory management. That's coming through the acquisition of Inner Workings. The plan that we're having and how we're seeing B1 Solutions helping us over the past few months since the acquisition, and as we're moving forward in the future, is absolutely crucial for us. So the example that I would like to give is, since the acquisition, now the challenge that we're having, we've got 3 acquisitions. So we've transformed one business, which was HH Global. That's good enough. But if you now actually start putting the 4 companies and transforming 4 companies and rationalizing them on same system, same platform, same processes, getting people trained on how to get them, data, everything, that is a massive, massive challenge. And there's a lot of gaps, inventory being one of them. We've never done that before in legacy, like the smaller HH Global. Now we're the bigger HH Global, and now we have to accommodate for that. So we're leaning a lot on B1 Solutions. We just, like, through a casual discussion with Joao, I was telling him, oh, with the acquisition of Inner Workings, we need to think about warehousing and inventory. Joao immediately picked up, oh, we can help you out with that. Session was set up. We went through it. We started getting people who were from legacy Inner Workings, and we started talking to them about how, SAP can help with the inventory valuation and inventory management. To be very honest with you, we're always being asked about, why we should not consider SAP as a full ERP. And that's a strategic decision by the company. And why are we, the company has set out and invested quite heavily from the early days in Hub being a flexible order management system. But now we're trying to look into which other areas that SAP we can utilize SAP in to help us fulfill all of our end-to-end process with the acquisitions and with the new processes that we're bringing in place. And that's something that B1 Solutions is helping quite a lot on. So, conscious about time, over the past period, we've been working a lot on the rationalization and implementations. We've gone through that for the big markets like the UK and the US. SAP B1 Solutions has been integral to us with that and working with us through all of the different features and functionalities that we've been thinking about as a new forward way for our business, like credit limits, commissions, deposits, and so on, and also looking into inventory management and inventory valuation. Over the next 12 months, as we complete the roadmap and getting everything rationalized, and we operate as one big HH Global business, unless HH Global does another acquisition to make my life even more difficult. But if that our life together, we have a roadmap. We have the number of entities and markets which we are going to be working on. This is being communicated with B1 Solutions, and we are getting the right resources in place. And the agility that B1 Solutions offers us is really, really crucial. Agility and the flexibility of getting the resources, not any resources, they're always the right resources operating for the right functionalities or the right implementations with the right expertise, which is really crucial for us. So the next 12 months is really important as we transform, rationalize, four businesses, four systems, four platforms, four processes onto one, with enhanced features that we can use out of existing SAP functionality or customizations and minor developments to get it to function the way we want it to.
And you've touched on, I suppose one of my next questions I was going to ask is what are HH Global's future plans, but you've just gone and touched on some of it there, around rationalizing your four systems onto one. I suppose my question is, how do you see the relationship with B1 Solutions and SAP evolving with those plans in place for HH Global?
It's as I said, we're beyond the partnership. We're a team at the moment. So if I cannot get the support in a development that I need a feature, for example, we're looking into credit limit application because that's something that is very top agenda for the US markets, for example. That's how they operate there with a lot of their clients that we inherited from inner workings. If I cannot get that implemented in SAP, in SAP, then I'll not be able to function. So I need to implement credit limit. The functionality is available in SAP. So Michael, your worlds helps us, that gives us the base functionality, but we need it to function in a little bit different way according to our needs. So there's a little bit of customization. Then I have to go to B1 Solutions. Guys, we need it to work in this way. So can you customize it to operate in the way that we want it to help the business? But we need it within usually the next day. And that's the agility that B1 Solutions offers us. Yes, we'll get on it. We start developing it. We start testing it. We make sure that it's working. Then we release it and it's available. So it is. Yeah.
We're being nice when you say the next day. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but just to make sure that people understand that we're not an easy customer.
It's what it is. It's what it is. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why we are partners, and that's why we feel the same pains, and we share the same pains and the same success. It's not only the pain; it's also the success. And this is
absolutely.
What we need, and this is what we need to have into consideration. We are on the same boat. We're not on different teams, like we said. Because Lucille is already giving me red flags that we are almost going over time. I just want you to give the audience and whoever will listen to this webinar, if they want to listen or not, they should, because this is relevant. This is not only HH Global. This is common ground for large enterprises or very small companies about getting the right people and establishing a relationship, forge on work and success. Because today we have this relationship, we have this trust, but this was forged on our professionalism, on our disputes, on saying no, on saying yes, on being available. It's not that we were friends since we were at middle school, or that we played a game together. This was forged on with blood, sweat, and tears. So my final question to you is, if someone that would embrace a journal like yours, what would be your top recommendations for this guy, for this company that will have the same challenge? And we know that this is happening. You know, there's a lot of global companies, some bigger, others smaller, that are expanding, that have a lot of systems, that never had an IT strategy of thinking that some point in time it will be impossible to manage different ERP systems, different finance systems, integrate. What do you recommend? This is happening. This is not a science fiction. This is happening every day, and I feel that sometimes it lacks guidance and knowledge on what to do and how to start. So can you give some insights on
sure.
Some tips, some pro tips, let's call it this way?
So I will start off by, you have to be very clear on what your vision and goal looks like. That's very crucial. You have to plan out where you are, what is your end goal, and how do you get there in between. Now, how you get there in between is where you need to figure out who's going to help you. That is the first planning. That's the first point. The second point is when you're selling that vision to your exec, do not sell the full vision because they're going to freak out. Okay, they're going to say, wow, investments, millions, woo, that doesn't make sense. Give them key milestones. Let them see where your first milestone is going to be and how that is going to have a massive impact on the business. And that's really important, because if you try to sell the full thing for them, you're not going to get it. You're not going to even, kick off. So that's the first bit. The second bit is you need to look at your internal resources and see who is fit from the internal resources and take bold, decisive actions. From the 6 people I inherited, I only have 1 remaining soldier, and that person is really crucial to the business. And now I'm close to almost a team of 40 people that I'm heading into, but every single one of them has been carefully selected and made sure that they will add value to the business and we know what they need to do. Third point is you have to be brave enough to change status quo, not because you are currently with a system or a partner or whatever. That means you have to continue on that same route. You have to see which system applies best to you. When I looked at it, I said, okay, order management strategically by the company is being controlled external out of an ERP system. So any system I'm going to implement is just going to be used for the financial accounting ledger. So what I really need is I need a system that can integrate with anything. And that was the key focus for me. And SAP Business One was great because at that time I was a medium-sized company, but I know that in the future I'm going to be a large company. So will SAP B1 still be the right solution for me as I grow? With the current architecture design, yes, because a big chunk of the ERP is external and I need to build the integration, and that works and that serves my purpose. More importantly, look at who's helping you on that journey, your implementation partner, your support partner. If they're not good enough, change them, and change them quick. Look for the right implementation partner, which Michael has been talking about. And we've stressed on how the implementation partner is absolutely crucial if they offer the right flexibility and agility, because as you're growing, let's be clear, you're not going to have all of your plans set in stone from day one. So when you're going to embark on an implementation in a country, you're not going to be clear on how many days you need them, how many weeks in advance that you need to book them, how things can transpire that local implementation can go over, under days, whatever it is. But you need someone who can help you to be as flexible and give, charge you, because all of this is part of your budget and your cost. So all of what I've said focuses on 2 things. If you summarize all of that, it is people and systems and how this can support your journey. Does that answer your question, Joao?
Yes. Our contacts are on the channel. So partner as solution SAP and then the combination. It was amazing. Thank you, Sherif. Thank you, Michael. I think we are already over time for Q&A, but it's what it is. It was amazing. It's always amazing to have this. It seems like one of our conversations, but now streaming for a broader audience. It's always amazing to talk with you, to talk with Michael, to discuss this, to discuss what we like to do, to share open-hearted what we think without thinking on what we need to say. This is also very relevant, and this is what trust means. And just before we go, I want to ask if someone from our participants have something to ask us, or if there's any topic that they would like to have on this session, or not on this session, on the next sessions that we will have. Please feel free. You have 3 minutes to ask questions. So thank you.
Thank you, Joao. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sherif. That was a very great, very interesting session. So thank you for your energy on this. We have one question from Benny. I think you can see it, Sherif, in the Q&A box. I think it was kind of answered, but is there anything you would like to add on top of that?
Yeah, no, I think Benny just, yeah, the main reason why we did not use B1 as a full ERP for the sales and order processes is because that was a strategic decision before I joined by the business. The business was actually looking at Hub to implement Hub initially as an order management tool. In midway, they were thinking of moving more into an ERP, but I think my CFO, my previous CFO at the time who joined, challenged that vision and said, why do we need to replicate one? So we maintained Hub as our order management tool, giving all of the flexibility that they need. Also knowing that our clients and suppliers interact with us on Hub, so that we do not give them access to SAP, which is also very important strategically. So suppliers, clients, our client services team, our strategic sourcing team, which look after our suppliers, they all access that system, as well as our finance team. So have all of those teams work on Hub. The order management and sales management process happens there, and then we keep only the financial ledger away from any kind of people messing around with it. So that stays in SAP.
There's a second question for you, Sherif, by an anonymous. What was HH Global biggest challenge that held you up at the beginning of your journey? And how did it resolve? How did resolving it help project move forward?
The biggest challenge that we had was when I came in, I saw a very fragmented business in terms of a landscape, and with finance systems, and the failed integration. Now that failed integration with Hub, our order management tool, was not allowing us to move any forward with anything else. We were stalled because all we were doing is we had a team of those 4 out of 6 people doing nothing but just reposting failed documents. So the key challenge for me was 2 things. One, get the team that can help me deliver what I'm looking for. And secondly, start fixing the core problem, not put a plastic bandage over it. Not like just, oh, okay, let's try to maybe get more people to do the manual postings, which anybody will think of. Or let's try to see how can we upgrade SAP or do something this way. The problem is in the integration that we spent a lot of money developing. That's failed. Take the bold decision to say that is a loss. Write it off. Redo the development again. Do it right, making sure that the vision is correct and everybody's aligned to that. So this was the biggest challenge at the time. But once we overcame that, the implementation and the rollout was very easy to move forward with.
The last question we had from Mary related to the latest SAP innovation in SAP portfolio that could help companies advance, and if you have any insight on what the future roadmap for SAP Business One look like. Maybe you can answer one of them or do a very short answer, and then we can finish on that.
I probably don't have enough time to do this answer enough justice, given that we're a woman over to talk about our 3,000 products and all the innovations. Like SAP spends over 5 billion euros a year in research and development. So there's a long list of things I can talk about. I suppose the specific ones I would talk about, just to highlight, would be bots. And I think Joao touched on earlier, how we're helping to automate business processes. I think we don't want end users just to be keying in needless information. I think the whole point is being able to automate business processes. And if we can make bots do it, if we can help bots do it, then that's something that SAP has spent a considerable amount of time and investment towards. It's around basically automating business processes through robotic process automation. In terms of the roadmap, the same thing. Automating business processes through RPA within Business One has been a key innovation piece for SAP Business One specifically. Business One as a whole has 75,000 customers. It's not going anywhere. It's our best-selling ever product. We have a huge customer base, and we have fantastic customers like HH Global growing on the solution every day. They've done 6x revenue in the last number of years, granted through merger and acquisition, but also shows that it's the right solution to help you go through mergers and acquisitions and be a growing client. In terms of the wider SAP portfolio, we have SAP SuccessFactors to help transform your HR operations. We've acquired a company called Marsis to help with marketing automation. We number of years ago, we acquired Commerce Solution through Hybris. So SAP Commerce helps basically with your front end and taking order management. The wider SAP portfolio is insanely vast.
Yeah.
And I think it's a case of, I said I wouldn't be able to do justice in the minutes I have left, but key point to highlight is SAP's current investment is all around robotic process automation and automating those processes through bots, to be very clear.
Thank you, Michael. Guys, huge thank you. It was amazing again. I don't have enough words to thank you on this. So next time we will be together, let's try to celebrate this amazing webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure being here.
I think we can close the session, and thank everyone for attending. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please follow our channel. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.